In 1993, the town of St. Anne, Missouri, was rocked by the disappearance of 9-year-old Angie Housman. What followed was a harrowing 9-day search that ended in tragedy and a case that would remain unsolved for 25 years. Join us as we delve into the heartbreaking story of Angie Housman, the tireless efforts to bring her justice, and the shocking twist that finally led to her killer's capture. In 1993, a 9-year-old girl went missing in St. Anne, Missouri, and the whole town was scared for their kids. 9 days later, the little girl was found dead, which was every parent's worst fear come true. Detectives and members of the major case squad worked hard to solve the murder, but little Angie Housman would not get justice for 25 years. Angie Housman was born on February 18, 1984, in St. Louis, Missouri. Her mother, Diana Housman, married Ronald Bone when Angie was only a few months old, and Ann became Ronald Bone Jr.'s big sister. She had a beautiful smile that made everyone happy. Angie went to Booter Elementary School in St. Anne, Missouri, in the 4th grade in 1993. Angie got off the school bus on November 18, 1993, just like she did every afternoon in her neighborhood. Two parents in the St. Anne area usually watch their kids walk home on that street. One day, though, both parents were busy, so no one watched the kids as they walked home. Angie had to walk 8 homes to get to hers. She got past the 4th house and then did not appear again. The neighborhood kids couldn't remember where Angie went or who she was with. She was there 1 minute and then wasn't there the next. Angie's mother and husband got worried when it took her over 30 minutes to get home from school. Angie liked to talk to people, so she often stopped to chat with neighbors on her way home. But it had never taken this long before. They looked all over the neighborhood, but Angie wasn't found. The parents quickly informed the police that their child was missing, and an investigation started. At first, the police didn't rule out anyone as a possible suspect, even Angie's parents. Ron, her dad, was questioned for a long time, and he was even put through a polygraph test. A lot of searching on the ground and questioning of family members and friends did not turn up any leads. The FBI joined the search on November 21st. The major case squad was called in to help with the investigation for the second time in history, even though the missing person case did not meet the requirements. As the huge search went on, cops got hundreds of tips from people all over the St. Louis area. A girl was almost taken from a nearby area a week before Angie went missing, but she was able to get away. Police were told about a guy in the area who was driving a blue car and seemed sketchy. Even though a police sketch was shown, these hints did not lead to Angie or a suspect. Psychics started to come up with their ideas, and one said they had a dream that the cops would find Angie's body in the August Busch Wildlife Area. A deer shooter found Angie Housman's body in the August Busch Wildlife Area on November 27, 1993, just 9 days after she went missing. This was almost exactly where the psychic said she would be found. Her naked body was found tied to a tree about 30 feet from the road. Her whole face, except for her nose, was taped up with duct tape. The rest of her underwear and clothes were in a Dollar General bag beside her body. The case of a lost person turned into a murder case. Angie had been badly beaten, which was found out when the body was autopsied. During the days she was absent, she had been raped, beaten, starved, and lost a lot of water. Her hair was dyed and cut. Her body was dumped in the woods after being held for a while. A medical exam showed that Angie probably passed away just a few hours before her body was found. The stated cause of death was being too cold. After a week of hell, she was left naked and tied to a tree, where she died of frostbite. The examination revealed some forensic hints, such as a fingerprint on the duct tape she had over her mouth. One of the first leads in the investigation came from Angie's teacher saying something scary. She said Angie told her that her uncle was taking her to see the country, but there was no uncle. No one in Angie's class or group of friends knew who this uncle was. Then, 4 days after Angie's body was found, another girl went missing in Hazelwood, Missouri, 7 miles away. When the second girl was found dead, police were even more sure that there was a repeat predator in the area. This case, on the other hand, was solved in early 1994 and had nothing to do with Angie's case. The FBI wrote a description of Angie's killer and said he is a white man between the ages of 20 and 45, lives alone, lost his job recently, and doesn't get along with women. When this description was made public, it got a lot of attention. In total, 500 men were thought to be suspects in Angie's case, but were later ruled out as the killer. John Wayne Parsons was from Florida and was one of those guys. John Wayne Parsons said he abused 3 girls, 2 of whom were 9 years old, in Florida and Potosi, Missouri. Several newspaper articles about the Angie Housman case were found on him when he was arrested in Florida for sex crimes against children. However, Parsons was ruled out in this case by the evidence. Another man admitted to the crime while he was on death row, but he was in jail at the time of the murder and could not be charged. For a man named Corey Lynn Fox came forward in 2001 and said he had killed Angie. He even knew some things about the crime that matched. To give you an example, he could go into great depth about Angie's Barbie underwear. Fox also admitted to killing dozens of other people. For example, he said he killed Missouri Governor Mel Carnahan. Only Mel Carnahan died in a plane crash, and Corey Fox was not responsible for most of the crimes he admitted to, including the murder of Angie Housman. Police say that the news coverage of Angie's murder was too strong, so it's possible that the details about her underwear were read in the paper. The years went by, and Angie's case was still not solved. People who live in or around St. Louis will remember how the death of Angie was shown in the news over and over again over the years. Angie got 2 more siblings, but they would never meet their big sister. In 2016, Angie's mother died of cancer, which was very sad. She died before the cops could catch the person who killed her daughter. In 2018, St. Charles County Police chose to look into Angie's case again. In 2019, DNA tests were done on the crime scene data. After all these years, DNA from Angie's underwear was tested using cutting-edge technology, which led to the creation of a profile of a male suspect. Police were shocked when the DNA matched a man who was in federal prison. Police finally knew who killed Angie Housman after 25 years had passed. On March 1, 2019, cops said that Earl Cox was the person who killed Angie. Cox got his high school diploma from Jennings in 1975. He joined the United States Air Force after high school. He worked as a computer operator in the Air Force, and his base was in Frankfurt, Germany. Earl Cox was charged with sexual abuse of 4 girls younger than 11 years old while he was stationed in Germany in 1982. He was given a dishonorable discharge and 8 years in jail at Fort Leavenworth in Kansas. After getting out of jail, he went back to the St. Louis area in 1985. Earl Cox was caught in Overland in 1989, taking 2 girls aged 7 to the movies and a park, only a short walk from Angie's school. Even though sexual assault charges were brought, they were later dropped in 1991 because there wasn't enough proof. He was arrested enough to take away his freedom, and he was sent back to Fort Leavenworth to stay locked up. In 1992, he was let out of Leavenworth again. After getting out of jail, he returned to the St. Louis area. Earl was on his way to his sister's house on November 18, 1993, close to Angie's bus stop. He pulled over to check what was wrong with his car. He told her he had seen the school bus and Angie Housman get off it. He asked the girl if she was hungry when Angie walked by. She agreed to get in Earl's truck because she was cold and hungry. He bought her food at Burger King and took her there. He took the girl for a drive and then took her back to his house. There is proof that Earl sexually assaulted Angie while he had her in his care. He also beat her, starved her, and didn't give her anything to drink. Earl held Angie for 8 days and then tied her naked body to a tree in the Bush Wildlife Area. After that, he left her outside in the cold to die. Earl Cox didn't care about Angie at all. Cox lived in Ferguson after the murder until 1995. He finally moved to Colorado and started a child pornography ring that had members all over the world. There was a reward system that let users see child sexual abuse videos. The more abuse videos they shared, the more videos they could see. In 2002, Earl Cox talked to an FBI agent pretending to be a 14-year-old girl. Cox sent her money for a train ticket to Colorado. He was caught at the restaurant, where he told the girl to meet him. When the FBI arrested Cox, they found more than 45,000 pictures of children being sexually abused. They found a lot of digital proof that pointed to Earl Cox as the leader of an illegal child pornography group. Members of the group were even going to have a teddy bear picnic at a farm in Missouri. In 2003, Earl Cox was found guilty in a federal court and given a 10-year prison term. Along with Cox, more than 60 other men from around the world were arrested for their roles in the sexual abuse ring. Earl Cox was supposed to be freed from federal prison in October 2012. There was a judge who said Earl was sexually risky and put him in jail under the Adam Walsh Child Protection and Safety Act of 2006. Earl was held on a civil commitment until 2019, when DNA evidence linked him to the murder and rape of Angie Housman. For Angie's rape and murder, St. Charles County Prosecutor Tim Lomar first planned to ask for the death sentence. They decided not to carry out the death sentence if Earl Cox admitted to the crime and told the court what he did to Angie. For his crimes, Earl Cox was given a life sentence in jail in August 2020, with no chance of parole. 27 years later, Angie finally got what she deserved. Cox pleaded guilty to sodomy of another young girl in March 2021 and got more time. Earl Cox will die in Missouri jail. Currently, he is at the Southeast Correctional Center in Charleston, Missouri. There have been many laws made to protect the safety of children in our country since she died in 1993. The list of sex offenders, the legal commitment of sexual abusers, and the Amber Alert system are just a few. Maybe Angie would still be alive today if these had been around in 1993. At the very least, her mother would have been able to see justice done before she died. As we conclude this journey into the tragic story of Angie Housman, we are left with questions that may never be fully answered. What could have been done differently? How can we prevent such tragedies in the future? We invite you to share your thoughts and reflections in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you found it informative and subscribe to our channel for more true crime stories and investigations. Thank you for watching.